Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tales of Agartha, the solo MMO project I have been developing for the last few months. It's been a couple weeks since I've uploaded, and that was as expected in my last video. I've been doing a lot of network infrastructure, and I kept wanting to show pieces of this a week ago, but it was broken, and I'm like, how can I present it? I was getting excited because things were starting to work, but it just wasn't quite there. But it's far enough along that I think I can finally show it off. I've updated my dashboard and my menu system a little bit from the last time. It's still very stand-in, but we now have a nice place where I can launch developer notes and updates as we get closer and closer to the open pre-alpha. Feel free to pause and read that if you wish. This is some of the plans I have in my head on launching with that pre-alpha. Anyway, we finally have a character selection screen and a create character menu, and it is live. The database is synced up. We have dedicated servers, multiple servers, persistent servers. The characters are live there, and it's just, it's so exciting. Things are moving in a very cool direction. So let's just give a little demo of my character creation screen. Obviously here you have something you'd be familiar with. I have my first character, Zurak. He is a level 1 human tempest. He is on the US East Coast Atlantis PvP server. And as you can see here, we have many different servers. Let's see, Avalon, Eden. Oh, Eden has a character. El Dorado, we've got Gondor and Nizir. So a couple sample characters I've been creating, but as you can see, the characters actually belong to dedicated realms. So let's just go to a fresh realm. US East Coast Avalon PvE. We're going to create a new character. Right now we have this basic UI. A lot of it is stand-in. This entire right panel is just for looks. None of it works, but it gives you an idea of what we're going to try to have in the future. Hair colors, different eyebrows, hairs, eyes, nose, beard, jewelry, all the different sliders you would expect to have. And, the sliders work as far as being interactable. But they don't do anything because they're not tied yet. But that's coming soon. We do have our character name field, and we have our character templates. So, eventually there will be like a 3D character here. It's not quite ready. I mean, I could show a little teaser real quick. Let's see. Let me see if I can turn this on and hide. And, let's bring that back and hide. Oh my god. There we go. It's going to be something like this. It's not quite ready, so it's been all hidden, but eventually you'll have this like preview character here on the screen in 3D. The background's an actual 3D world. It'll be animated, and as you build out your customizations, he's actually too high. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing this on the fly. Which way am I going? This way. I don't know, this way. He's actually a little too big for the screen right now. He's messing with the logo. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Eventually you'll have this 3D character here, but for now we don't. And so we'll just go back. Let's get this back together. Alright, back to our screen. So that'll come soon. That's the next module. But for now, we have different races. We have the humans, the dryads, the noblins, and the fallen. So these are the 4 starting races. And then you have obviously male and female options, which updates their icons accordingly. And I can finally reveal for the first time the classes that I have planned for this game. I've actually been building this game in my head for 10 years. I have notebooks filled with class ideas and specializations and spells and all this. So I've had a lot of this in my head. And it's pretty fleshed out, actually. I don't want to go too much into it because I want there to be surprise in the game, but I'll give you a quick overview. There's actually 4 more races to come, but these are where we're starting. The dryads are kind of an elvish creature. They're very much part of nature itself. Think of them as living tree type organisms in the elf motif, and then the Noblins are very similar to elves, but they've kind of fallen off and gone down into the earth. Not to be confused with goblins, they are Noblins. Anyway, then humans, and then the Fallen. They have a quite interesting story, so we'll talk about them later. Obviously, male and female, straightforward, and the same races exist for both. Now, if we just go to humans, because they have the full selection, at least for now, we have the Tempest Wizard. You can think of the Tempest Wizard as kind of the scholarly wizard of the mind. They focus on illusion and mind magic and psychic and runes and pure energy. They tap into water and lightning and the storm. So that is the Tempest Wizard. Then you have the Sorcerer. And I really wanted to separate these two as opposed to just having this like generic mage. It's either fire or ice. I wanted them to feel like very different classes because they have totally different worldviews on how they treat magic. The Tempest respect it, they study it, they want to own the knowledge, whereas the Sorcerer is about stealing and just using raw power, chaos, and destruction to bend their will. They use fire and destruction magic, and they are very reckless with their magic. They don't respect it, and so there's a cost. And so that's the Sorcerer, pure fire energy. Then we go to the Warden. The Warden is your nature magic. They are in harmony with nature, healing, and Mother Earth. They are connected to the Gaia, if you will. And so pretty typical. They're also going to be kind of a, you could think of them if you want. I hate doing the WoW comparisons, but this is the druid-ish class, but it's kind of a druid and a hunter because a spec will be a ranged hunter. They will also be a melee, and then will also be a spell. So those will be the specs there. Next, we have the Acolyte. They are the necromancer, cultist, black magic, evil, death, shadows, and pretty typical stuff with the Acolyte. So then we have the Raider. The Raider name is up for debate. There's a lot of like warrior names that have gone through: the Raider, the Marauder, the Berserker, the Mercenary. So we'll land on something. But this is your raw melee class, whether it be sword and shield, two-handed weapons, or two one-handed weapons, dual wielding. You know, they are your melee warrior class, and so not much more to say there. Then we have the Assassin, and they are a ranged and melee class. And again, I hate doing the WoW comparison, but that's your rogue class. But they're a little bit different, and there's a lot more things that are different about them. Then next we have the Nomad. And the Nomad is more of a geomancer, so they focus on earth magic, whereas the Warden is about nature. And the way I differentiate these two, and it kind of goes to the colors of magic. Green is about nature, and that's about plant life and growth and rejuvenation. Whereas the Warden, not the Warden, the Nomad is about earth magic. He's a geomancer. He's about the land, the dirt, the mud, the terrain. Not necessarily what's living on it, but the actual earth itself. And he's bound to the spirits of the earth because the spirit realm is tied to the actual terrain itself. And so that is the Nomad. And they will have different specs like the Cleric, which is your healer. They will also have a range spec and a melee. So next we have the Guardian. They are your typical holy warrior, this angelic archangel type class that uses the holiest of light and might and justice. Yeah, that's your paladin. All right, gotta have the Holy Warrior. Next, this is one of my favorite ones that I'm so excited for, is the Archon. The Archon is the ether magic. They use the pro-matter and the antimatter, the things that bind the entire universe, whereas the antimatter is about destruction of matter. The pro-matter is the creation of matter. And so they are kind of this purple and white dichotomy, the yin and yang of creation and destruction, of the universe. So they tap into the ether, the void, the things that are not there and the things that are. And so the Archon is a dual spec that'll be a healer and a damage dealer. So that's really cool. The Archon is going to be a super fun class. And then the last one is the Engineer. These guys, they tap into the essence magic, which is the spark. It is the actual thing that gives everything life. So the reason things are alive is because they have a soul. They have essence or the spark. This is key to the game. And the engineers, they don't care about the sacredness of the soul. They have learned how to harness the spark and use it to bring inanimate objects to life with their creations. They'll create clay golems and rock golems and bring them to life and have them fight and make gadgets that come to life to fight for them. They don't care if they're tapping into sacred magic with soul magic. It comes at a cost, but that is the engineers. Their hubris is their downfall. So they are a very cool spec. They will be melee and ranged, and they will have creatures. So that's the overview. Anyway, let's create one, right? So let's see. Who have I not made? Let's make an engineer. Let's make a female human engineer, and we'll call her. Let's see. We'll call her Gadgets. Let's go into the name check thing, actually. So one thing I've spent a lot of time on is name validation. So there are a few rules. You can't just have a single letter. It has to be at least 2 to 12. And you can't have more than 2 capital letters. I am allowing players to have 2 capital letters of their name, which is something a lot of games don't do, but I think it gives you some creativity if you want to be like Macmillan or something like that. That second capital letter is useful. You could also use it in weird ways, and I'll have to kind of source that, but if you want to be like Malcolm X, you could be a Malcolm X or whatever. The other thing, you can't have numbers, so I put a number check on the alphabetical letters. You can't have any symbols, alphabetical letters. So there's a bunch of like checks in there. But if you do get a valid name like Gadgets and it doesn't exist on that server, then you can create. And here we go. Look at that. We have Gadgets. She's a level 1 human engineer. All of this is saved to the database. It is populated, and it's really cool. So let's jump in and play her, right? So if we now launch the game, live demo, I hope this works because I've already recorded a pretty long video. And we're going to play our human female that we just made. Begin the adventure. New updated splash screen. Oh, did I click it? Click. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And look at that. There we go. Here's our default human female character on our... Wait, it's not a beach anymore. I actually turned this whole zone into a giant desert. But there you go. So that is the human female. And I've created a bunch of templates now. Let's just do a couple more and then we will wrap this video up. But I just wanted to share, this part is not updated yet. That'll come later when we sync the name, but we are a fresh character with no inventory and everything like that. So let's come back out. Let's do, let's see. Let's come back in. Let's find our other server characters. Who am I looking for? El Dorado. Oh yeah, let's do our Noblin character. So we got him selected, and we're going to enter. Just want to show you the full loop. We have all of our characters synced up. We've got a bunch of new character prefabs. The customization stuff is not done yet, but you do get a default character for now. And here he is! Ha ha ha. That's our Noblin, kind of our little goblin character, so he's pretty cool. He's very small. You know, let me just do it this way. I'm going to do this live. Let's see if this works. I like doing things live, just off the cuff, on the fly. Make it fun. Let's see. Where are my characters? So we've got let's just grab her. Oh, wrong way. You can see here's our female elves. They are very tall. This is a version. They can have like purple, blue, and green shades of skin. And then we have the male version right here. You can also see, again, he's very tall. Let's see some of our other characters. We have the female Noblin character. Isn't she cute? So their skin colors will be kind of green, yellow, orange, and red in those areas. Now we have the human female, which you guys just saw. She's here. And we have the male here. And then the fallen. I actually don't have a model, but I did have that skeleton guy. And so I actually just used them for now, just to have a base model. So it's starting to feel like an MMO. Here's kind of, we got variety of sizes and body shapes and colors. And so a lot of these default prefabs are in the works, and we're going to have a lot of characters soon running around the scene. But it's super exciting. That's just kind of a glimpse of how the characters are going to look and feel. These are definitely not final characters. It is almost a 100% certainty that by the time this game launches, these will be completely remade, because they are Senti assets. But they're cool. I've repurposed them. There's a lot of talk of asset flipping, and in some ways I am flipping assets, but I'm also stripping them down to their base model and just rebuilding them from scratch for my system. So I'm not borrowing any code. This entire engine is 100% my creation. Apart from physically grabbing some models and textures, all of the logic is 100% unique and new. So it's not really an asset flip. It's just a starting point. It's a prototype dummy model, but it gives you a really good visualization of what you want to do with the game, to just have some stuff there. And then as we get deeper into production, we'll go back and we'll kind of remodel them. We'll make them a little snazzier, clean up some proportions. But for now, it's fine. I'm happy with it. You guys want to be a skeleton real quick? Let's load up a skeleton guy. All right. So let's see. Let's find my skeleton. Let's actually just create a new one. Let's go in here. We'll create a fallen. We'll make him a sorcerer, and we'll call him Skell Lord, which fits our naming conventions. Skell Lord. Now we will select him. So we have to select him. And now Skell Lord is a level 1 fallen sorcerer. We'll enter the game. So this part was huge. Getting the server up and running. The characters are actually in the database. They're on those particular servers. Those servers are dedicated. If you create a character on one server, it is only on that server. And so here we go. Now I can repurpose that skeleton model I had, and now I'm a fallen, which it's not what they're going to look like, but for now it's cool to just run around as a skeleton, and it's cool. Anyway, that's the update for this week. The desert took over the oasis, and now it's no longer an island. It's a giant desert, which feels pretty cool. And the reason for this is I don't have swimming in the game yet, and I want to release this as a starter zone. And so essentially what I did was turn it into a desert so you could explore. And there is a giant invisible wall surrounding this area. It's like a giant circle. So it's a way to kind of contain players from escaping my starter zone, because I know people will explore. So, bam, then you hit this invisible wall, and you can't go past that fog there. So that's the desert oasis level, but it's looking huge. And the game is coming along. We've got races, we've got classes, we've got servers, we've got data, and it's so exciting. So everything is saved to its own server, and it's just really, really cool. This was a huge feat to get done, and this is core infrastructure. All right, we are at 20 minutes. I'm done talking. Thank you for watching. Big things are coming. Thank you for watching Tales of Agartha. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.